Okay, so this is the final take of this particular video when it is going to go out as Oliver Cromwell once put it, warts and all. So, if there's any kind of if I make any mistakes or whatever on this, I am not going back and correcting any more mistakes on this one. I've done way too many takes of this. And I've tried to make this one way too yeah, I'm not going back and fixing this one again. So, whatever it is, it is. Okay, having said that, today is not the feast of Saints Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. That was yesterday, but due to some health issues, I was unable to post yesterday. So, I'm going to go ahead and post today. And we're going to go ahead and start with Saint Martha. Saint Martha, along with Mary and Lazarus, are siblings who are friends of Jesus. And they're especially close friends of Jesus, and we know that because he comes and he visits them. He stays with them when he's on his way, more than likely on his way to Jerusalem. Bethany is about 2 miles outside of Jerusalem, so you figure it would probably be a stopping point for him on the way to get to Jerusalem. And it isn't the same kind of a celebration that you see or a dinner that you see that would have been from uh, when he met with Zacchaeus or when he met with perhaps the centurion or someone else, because this is him having dinner with some friends, basically. And Martha is the active one who is preparing dinner. She, in the story, becomes somewhat annoyed because her sister is listening to Jesus talking while she's preparing dinner, asks if he would ask her sister to help her with dinner, and Jesus tells her that Mary has chosen the better part by listening to him, and that she needs to stop being so concerned with things of the world. Not necessarily things of the world, but she's concerned with a lot of things going on that she's the one who's concerned with a lot of the stuff that's going on. So he tells her, she's always so busy about other things that sometimes she needs to take a second and maybe should take a example, not from Mary taking an example from Martha, but Martha taking an example from Mary. Okay, we also see that when Lazarus becomes sick, they send for Jesus, and that means that they're close enough to Jesus that they would send for him when Lazarus becomes sick. What actually ends up happening is Lazarus, of course, passes away. Jesus comes slightly after Lazarus, or a few days after Lazarus had died, and Martha and Mary are at the tomb. And while Martha and Mary are at the tomb, what happens is that Jesus asks Martha if she believes that he's the resurrection and the life. And she says, "Yes, Lord, yes, I have come to believe that you are the resurrection. And I have come to believe that you are the Son of Man and the Son of God and the um, Messiah." So Jesus does eventually raise Lazarus from the dead, and that starts the whole uh, next act of what we see in several of the Gospels. Particularly in St. John's Gospel, we see that this is when they decide, the high priests and the officials decide they need to actually do something radical or something fairly radical about Jesus, because This is when, now he's got some guy he's brought back from the dead, and we've got this guy who's back from the dead that they want to get rid of again because, that's not good for business for them. And also because Jesus is just bad news for them because they want to make sure that he just seems like he's going to be bad news for them. So they decide, okay, that's it. He needs to go. All right. So that's Saint Martha, which is the first of the three. The second is Saint Mary. Now, Saint Mary is not very mentioned a whole lot throughout there. We do know a couple of things, which is that she was listening to Jesus while her sister was cooking. So she has a much more contemplative, or a much more, she has a relationship with Jesus where she wants to listen to him and feels that that is the most important thing versus helping her sister, which is what Jesus also feels in that particular part. And I think what the message we get from it is that sometimes we all need to take a few minutes, no matter what, and become a little contemplative ourselves, where we try to have some kind of a relationship, develop some kind of a relationship with Jesus, and have the quiet time to be able to do that. Mary also is the one who anoints his feet at one of the other points in the gospel, which is when Jesus gets annoyed. And that's when Judas decides he's going to betray Jesus to the high priests, who, as we noted slightly earlier, have decided that they need to take slightly more radical action to do something about him. So that is where we're at with that. The final of the three saints is Saint Lazarus. Now, Saint Lazarus is the one who gets risen from the dead. He later goes to not Jerusalem, but he later goes to Syria with Saint Peter, or becomes the bishop of Cyprus. We're not really sure. It's a little sketchy as to what exactly happened. One of the things that is a potential is that him, Mary, and Martha Mary, and Martha all moved to Cyprus after Jesus' resurrection, and Lazarus becomes the bishop of Cyprus. So that is basically about where we're at with that. And yeah, talk to you guys in a little bit.